Welcome to National Focus. I'm Kimani Serjan. Coming up, Dominica observes World Water Day and the Discover Dominica Authority pledges continued support to food safety development. Stay with us for details of these and other stories after the break.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. Got it? Taking care of us can be so easy.
Take good care of the children.
Thanks for staying with us. Dominica joined the rest of the world to celebrate World Water Day on Tuesday under the theme Water and Jobs. 23 years ago, the United Nations designated March 22nd as World Water Day. This was meant to learn more about water-related issues and to take action to make a difference. GIS News spoke with Public Relations Officer of DOWASCO, Ed Regis.
We are placing attention on water conservation, and many times people might say, hey, this is a message that we keep repeating all the time. But it's important for us to repeat it so that people understand clearly the importance of conserving water. We cannot take water for granted because there have been many countries in the past that have done exactly that, and they have lost their freshwater resource. There's a lot of water in the world, but we can only use 1% of the fresh water that is available on Earth. And that out of that 1%, that is that sustains life for us as human beings.
Regis says this year DOWASCO worked with the public library to educate children about the importance of conserving water.
From yesterday, we've been talking to children from preschool age and so on, and throughout the course of today, we will speak to a few other children coming from various institutions. And that is important, that even the children understand their responsibility in the effort for water conservation. And because generations to come will require water for their survival.
Regis encourages the general public to join efforts with DOWASCO to preserve and conserve the water resource. In more news, consultant at the Ministry of Social Services, Martin Anthony, is confident that the Harmonized Family Model Bill will raise the standard of child protection in Dominica once it is passed in Parliament. He says one strong characteristic of the bills is that they are well defined and clearly outline all processes.
From my looking at the bills, it doesn't leave anything to chance. It tells you exactly what should be done. For example, it sets time limits for certain things. The court should do this within 14 days. The police officer should do this between 24 hours. The probation officer should do this between whatever time. So it clearly sets time limits as to when certain things should be done. It also brings up our standards in terms of the protection of children, protection of the family. We are mindful that the public is very, very vulnerable as far as crime is concerned, and youth crime, one may say. So it gives, in the first place, it gives the young person an opportunity to say, yes, I have committed a crime, I have taken responsibility for the crime, and I want to make amends for my commitment of that crime against the state and the persons of the country, of the people of the country.
Dominica remains one of 2 OECS countries to enact the bills, which includes establishing a family court. On Monday, a one-day consultation took place to review and make recommendations to the 4 bills of the Harmonized Family Model Bill. Anthony says once enacted, it will take a collective effort to make the new laws effective.
For example, under the Child Justice Bill, it talks about a residential facility. It speaks to an assessment center where the child would be assessed. It speaks to a place of safety. So these are very important, and going hand in hand with that is the necessary staffing For example, when I reviewed the bills as a technical individual, I observed that probation alone, probation officers would have to about 25 tasks under one of the bills, the child justice bill. So you would need more probation officers in place. It talks about over 20-something duties for police officers. You might consider, the police force might need to consider a special unit within the police force to enforce. Because it's one thing to pass law, but it's another thing to enforce the law. And the various bills clearly says what should be done.
The Office of Disaster Management, the Dominica Meteorological Service, and other relevant stakeholders participated in Dominica's first Global Framework for Climate Services workshop last week. The workshop was titled Dominica's In-Country Workshop for Mapping Provider Capacity and User Needs for Climate Information and Service. Facilitator climatologist Cedric Van Merbeck of the Caribbean Institute for Meteorological and Hydrology explains the reasons for the workshop.
So I represent here the CIMH together with my colleague Dr. Rocher Mahan to help Dominica grow its capacity and identify Dominica's needs for climate information. So this workshop today, which is funded through the United States Agency for International Development, with generous funding from the American people, as well as from Environment Canada. What we are doing here today is to bring together the Met Service in Dominica, as well as relevant stakeholders from different sectors in the country that are part of the climate-sensitive sectors. For instance, water is affected by weather. For instance, agriculture is affected by drought, by heat, etc. So all of those sectors that are involved in the information process for climate and for weather are represented here today.
The workshop was geared at tracking the specific needs of stakeholders for better climatology decisions.
For instance, if there's a drought, how will that affect my crop? How will that affect the water that I get at home? Will it still be good quality? Will it still be enough? If there's a heat wave, do I need to be concerned that I will feel uncomfortable? Do I need to be concerned that hospitals will have more cardiac patients being unwell, etc.? So we have a couple of sectors gathered here today. That's the agriculture and food production sector. That's the water sector. That's the energy sector to a certain level. That's the tourism sector. That's the health sector. So we have many sectors here present today to discuss what their needs are for climate information, and we have the Met Service here who will discuss what products and what information they already provide, and by the discussion together, how the Met Service can serve the country better in terms of climate information.
He explains why this project is being implemented at this time.
One of the reasons this is happening now is that through several programs led globally by UN bodies such as the World Meteorological Organization, through the Global Framework for Climate Services, but also through some regional agendas of development nature and of disaster management, we need to become more resilient to climate kind of disasters and hazards such as drought, such as floods, etc. So now that we have the capacity at hand with regional bodies and with the national bodies to provide the type of information on the climate end of things, just like there was already a long time on the weather end of things, now we want to roll out this framework, this global framework for climate services for Dominica, to help them become more resilient to climate hazards.
At the end of the workshop, a climate information mechanism to assist participating countries will be created. You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
I had a bleeding disorder that I did not know about, and they had to be transfusing me continuously. I got 56 units.
Being there at the blood bank, I was like, yo, I'm actually saving someone's life.
You never know when you can go.
Give blood.
I have done it, and believe it or not, it don't hurt.
I won't be scared. I'll give. You know you're gonna give blood. I'll make sure she does.
Sit down at the blood bank in a comfortable environment for 45 minutes.
Helping people.
You are stimulating your body to make brand new cells.
You get free cookies, you get juice.
Glad to know your blood group. Feels good.
I felt as a better person.
It's a good thing to be alive, and I can thank God that I'm there and I'm enjoying life.
Welcome back. Product Promotions Manager of the Discover Dominica Authority, Kathleen Coffey John Jules, is commending the efforts of the Ministry of Health and the Environmental Coordinating Unit to actively implement higher food safety standards for the island. She was speaking at the Serve Safe Food Protection Manager Training and Certification Program, which began on Monday, March 21st, 2016.
In today's competitive world of travel, food always plays a very increasingly important role. People do not only seek new food experiences, but they continue to demand greater food levels of food safety. While safe food cannot assure destination success, food illnesses can help to determine its failure, and this is key. Therefore, we think that this training, this food safety training, is very timely, and we want to commend the efforts of Environmental Health Department on that.
She reported that Dominica so far has a stellar food safety record.
Since DDA's establishment, Dominica has not had any bad publicity, I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that, as a result of any outbreak of foodborne illnesses among our visitors. And this, we believe, is due to the diligent effort and competence and the wealth of experience of the Environmental Health Department. I think we should commend them and give them a round of applause. As such, we want to continue to commend their efforts and to ask that they continue to do such initiatives in the future.
She notes that the DDA will continue to support the Ministry of Health in these efforts.
Discover Dominica Authority will continue to collaborate in various ways, for example, raising awareness in relation to food safety in the tourism industry. This, we think, is very critical. Also, we would like to initiate with them, in collaboration with the Environmental Health, food safety awareness campaigns, just to ensure that persons are informed and educated in terms of food safety, particularly those persons who serve our visitors while on island. We'd also want to get involved in informing and working with them, with the local media, about food safety and the risk and the proper practices that's needed.
She had these words of encouragement for participants.
This training, we think, we're confident that it will equip you with the essential tools that you need for improving food safety within the workplace. However, it is quite critical that upon return to your respective organization, the concept that you've learned should be implemented and also shared with your colleagues. So don't only come here and another workshop. We want to ensure that you go back to your respective organization and implement that you have learned.
And finally, facilitator of the Serve Safe Food Protection Manager Training and Certification Program, Julian Loader, believes matters of food safety in small countries can be addressed and improved with collaboration from relevant stakeholders. Loader, who has a first degree in agriculture, a master's in food science, is a certified Serve Safe instructor and proctor, and owns a consultancy firm, is facilitating the 3-day program in Dominica. She notes that the fight against foodborne illnesses is one which all countries face.
Food safety is a guarantee that food will not harm the consumer when it's prepared or ingested. And the incidence of foodborne diseases vary widely among countries, and low-income countries account for most of the problem. However, foodborne disease problems continue to be a challenge for public health, even in industrialized countries. So we're not alone in this battle against unsafe food.
The Caribbean Development Bank started the foundation for the Serve Safe program in 2007. The program is a certification course organized by the National Restaurant Association Education Foundation of the United States and is accepted throughout the Caribbean and North America. Loader gave an overview of the program.
The Serve Safe program is a certification course that is organized by the National Restaurant Association Education Foundation of the USA. And it's a program that's accepted right through the Caribbean and North America. So when you get this certification, it's not only for Dominica, but for the whole Caribbean as well as North America. Initially, there was a partnership with also the UK, Chartered Institute of Environmental Health. I'm not sure if there's still that collaboration, but I imagine that the certification would be recognized, or you could do an upgrade for the UK through this program. So it is a program that will take you places, and this is why we have selected this particular program for the training. The main objectives of this training is to improve the safe food handling practices in the country of Dominica, and the project goal is to ensure that all foods offered for consumption are safe and wholesome, thereby minimizing any incidents of foodborne diseases. Our main objectives is to improve the knowledge base of personnel in the food service industry about factors which contribute to safe food, to increase the understanding of food providers and handlers of their role to keep the food safe, and to improve safe food handling practices among food providers. Also, to allow for the international certification of Dominicans working in the food service industry.
A pre-training took place earlier this month and 30 participants were selected as a result. It is her hope that these persons will become serve-safe facilitators by the end of the program.
The good thing about this program is that although only 30 persons will be trained this week, they will be given the foundation that they need to then go to another level if they so desire to become safe serve proctors and instructors, so that in the next food safety training of safe serve that you have in Dominica, one of you will be the trainer, and that's one of the benefits of this program. So hopefully we won't be back as facilitators once you take up that challenge.
During the 3-day workshop, participants are expected to complete their training manual, and on Wednesday afternoon will take a certification exam. She had this message for participants.
There are a couple success factors for this training. I'm imploring the participants to attend all of the training sessions, 100% attendance. Additionally, I hope by now everyone would have read the manual through. That is another critical success factor. We really want you to pass. We want everybody to be successful, but we can only do 1/3 of the work. You have to do some, right? So we are imploring the participants to do their bit to make this a success, and we are here to share our collective knowledge of food safety of over 14 years, to make sure that you understand and appreciate what we're trying to impart, and to be better as food protection managers when you complete this program.
And that's the English news. Next is Curl Highlights with McPherson St. Luce.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, Premier ministre Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerritt a adressé étudiants à l'école Western High en Roseau Lady. Honorable Skerritt tenu bon parole morale pour ces jeunes filles. Et de ça qui voulait voir, c'est pour chaque jeune fille et puis garçon en Dominique, commencer à voir quoi con jeune femme et puis jeune homme. Et des affaires où le gouvernement a dépensé tellement de ressources à ces jeunesses, c'est pour le développement. Honorable Dr. Skerritt dit ces jeunesses-là qui sont spéciales pour teachers, parents et puis pour quoi. Dr. Skerritt qui a ces étudiants-là pour une jeune femme, ils sont supposés respecter quoi. Ça c'est l'idée, cadavre et puis nam ayo, et puis aussi respecter d'autres mondes. Quand concerne cadavre ayo, Dr. Skerritt qui a ces jeunes filles pour pas pomper tabac, alcool et puis d'autres drogues en cadavre. Premier ministre Honorable Dr. Skerritt dit que ces jeunes femmes-là qui ont supposé ni une attitude positive en la vie. En la nouvelle, en consultation qui mettait attention à ces billes pour gouverner famille-là, ça a créé family law, ça prend place en Dominique Lady. Consultation là qui mène plusieurs stakeholders ensemble pour discuter de billes là, qui concerne ça, discuter 4 dios, en parmi l'audience pour deal et puis négion, ça a créé en family court. Des d'autres qui tapent attention après. Magistrat Gloria Augustus qui a facilité le programme là en Dominique.
Nous niveau pour garder yon là qui a la monde qui soit enfant maintenance mais ça nous que point après nous ka pour 4 à présent mais ça nous que point après aussi nous ka garder côté family court puis manière nous ka dile puis c'est ba ça à présent place là manière là c'est pas comment il était pour so a family court place là a différent et puis il y a autant d'autres bagages qui collaborent et puis family court là et puis ça nous savons les gens pour d'autres services nous ça aider les gens plus nous ça aider famille plus so nous ni pour garder est c'est pas temps pour nous ni family court là nous ni gens qui ça travaille et supporter famille pour ces bails ça.
En nouvelle, plusieurs monde qui employés à National Employment Program comme Education Mentors qui bénéficient d'un programme trainement qui a pris place en Public Service Union en Wozo. Programme ça là qui commence lundi, qui a couru pour whole semaine là. Coordinateur pour National Employment Program, Emeline Burnett Honoré, fait parole que traitement là qui ouvre la porte neuf secteur éducation et puis ces mentors là qui mène l'État en salle classe où là a fonctionné. Gouvernement Dominique mettait programme ça là en l'année 2013 et puis depuis temps là, il a déjà bénéficié plusieurs jeunesse tout un pays là. Plaisir ces participants là fait parole plaisir pour programme ça là. Et puis finalement, Dominique Boncher et puis la West dans la terre pour observer journée de l'eau mondiale internationale aujourd'hui. Compagnie de l'eau de Wasco qui à ce public-là pour protéger les ressources de l'eau pour la vie. M. Edward Regis, officier relations publiques pour compagnie de Wasco.
Aujourd'hui, c'est journée mondiale pour observer l'importance de l'eau. Avec ça, c'est un grand jour, tout on la terre parce que tout on la terre, il y a des gens qui fait attention à son importance de l'eau aujourd'hui. Mais c'est un temps pour nous observer qui tous les jours, c'est un jour qui est important pour nous observer l'importance de l'eau. Avec nous en Dominique, nous avons apprécié une journée comme ça parce que comme ça, Dominique c'est un pays qui est plein de l'eau fouet. Mais il y a autant de pays qui paniquent l'eau pièce. Avec comme on dit ben nous avec autant de l'eau, il est important pour nous ça comprendre qui si nous pas fait ça nous supposons faire nous ça perd de l'eau. Et nous avons mené commission ça tous les jours. Et bien on dit chaque fois mon tonnerre de juste parler et ça il a dit mais il est important pour nous ça dit ça et dire encore parce que autant là nous avons comprendre qui parce que nous ni autant la rivière autant les temps différents habitants qui nous avons toujours ni l'eau mais il était pays avant qui était plein de l'eau avec yo perdu l'eau parce que si nous pas fait ça nous supposons faire nous avons perdu.
Compagnie là chaîne session et puis négion l'école Tissavan apprendre en importance ressources et puis conservation de l'eau.
Jodi a dans Wasco nous ka parler c'est Timamay là c'est légion. Nous ka mener yo hot preschool nous ka mener jodi a en library nous ka parler avec c'est légion l'école Tissavan qui a allé l'école ici en Ozo à présent après ça que tout le temps Erika yo en Ozo à présent. Avec nous ka montrer yo comment yo même quand tes enfants yo aussi une responsabilité parce que si nous pas commencer parler ba yo à présent quand yo jeune yo même pas que comprendre importance de l'eau comme ça nous bien content pour nous parler ba yo depuis hier nous commencer parler ba ti maman contre l'eau nous ka mettre attention à l'air parce que en 20 années pour venir en 50 années pour venir nous voulons Dominique toujours ni l'eau avec comme ça les autres pays qui parlent loin nous-mêmes ils ont une difficulté avec l'eau avec nous parler ça fait nous ici en Dominique parce que l'eau qu'on nous dit est bien important pour nous tous vivre avec si nous pas l'eau nous tous qui morts.
Messieurs mesdames, ça c'est toute bonne nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non moins c'est McPherson Luce. Au revoir.
While it may be difficult to protect your home from professional thieves, most home burglaries are done by amateurs. These thieves are more easily thwarted if you employ some of these simple security precautions. If the entrances to your home are dark, consider installing lighting with an infrared detector. Most thieves don't want to be observed trying to get in a door. Talk to your neighbors about any suspicious people or strange cars you notice lurking in the area. A door with too much space between the door and the frame is an invitation for the burglar to use a jimmy. Reinforce the door with a panel of 3/4-inch plywood or a piece of sheet metal. And if there are door hinges on the outside of your house, take down the door and reset the hinges inside. Otherwise, all a thief has to do to gain entry to your home is knock out the hinge pin. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow us on Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Kimani. Thank you for watching, and do join us again next time on National Focus.